Come get your money. Pay late carp fishing with Donald Barrow. Hey, I'm back. Ready to get started and make some rice here. Start with the box of rice. Pour into 28 ounces into my bucket, and off we go. Salt, one of the dry ingredients, a cup of salt. This is what makes it forever. If you don't use the salt, it'll go bad. If you didn't have salt, you could use it for a night or two, but after that, it's going to have some property issues. It's not going to want to pack. It's going to smell, and you're not going to catch fish with it. I'm throwing in the packets of grape Jello. Not really rocket science here, just a couple of package. Don't use the zero sugar ones. You want the sugar. If you did, if that's all you had, then add some sugar. But you know, the sugar content in this recipe is huge, and there's a lot of factors that affect that, and I'll talk about that for a real quick second here. All syrup's not created equal. I'm not saying thick syrup is the way to go or thin syrup. It is what it is. Some thick ones work. Some thin syrups work. When I say syrups, I'm talking about the Carp liquid formula. Whatever syrup you use, you kind of take a feel. I've made rice now 5-6 years. I know thick and thin, and when to use a lot more, use less. The reason it's important is if you use too much syrup, same with sugar, you affect the throw properties. What I mean by that, too much sugar and your rice is sticky and it sticks to your hands, and you can't make it into a ball, and it's a mess. You end up throwing it out because it doesn't want to hold together when you throw it. It'll just make you mad. Oh, I'm gonna start spinning this while I talk a little. All I'm doing is mixing this stuff up real good. The salt and the Jello pudding. You just want to incorporate it so you got that spread around pretty good. You know, some people really stress this part. Quite honestly, we're going to get this wet and stir it again, and what doesn't mix will mix when it's wet. That's the way I see it. So one thing I learned the hard way not to do, and I keep doing it every once in a while, is if you pour in just your liquid syrup and maybe spread it around. I used to think that would be a great idea. That way I can see where my rice, every bit of it, was getting some of the liquid formula, Carp formula, onto the rice. But quite honestly, what that does is soak into the rice, and then that rice doesn't want to pack right. It makes it kind of hard, and it ruins the mix. You can get over it. It doesn't always ruin the mix, but it's what I find, more not chances than anything that it's gonna, here's the simple solution: is just pour what you want. I like to use 4 to 7 capfuls. This Purple Rain by Wicked, this is some thick stuff. And I don't want it really messing with the properties. I love the smell, and it worked for me. So that said, I'm mixing it with my I didn't even tell, 28 ounces of soda. I've heard questions, do you have to match for, say, grape soda with the grape Jello? for it to work? No. I've seen people using Coca-Cola online. I've not used it, but I match it because flavored cola is cheap. You know, I got this on sale for I think $1.50. You know, go to the cheap. Don't get sugar free because the sugar is probably the most important content in there, along with the ability to that the liquid has. But you can mix. If you don't have grape, I could use strawberry. I could have used strawberry Jello and grape juice, or I could have mixed these and made strawberry and grape or raspberry and grape. You know, I'm going probably the Creekside, and I like grape there. Even though the last couple of times it wasn't grape. Grape is my go-to when I go to like grape or strawberry. From there, I carry something else, a butternut, peach, you name it. Try everything in a rice ball. But if I had to go with one, I would go with strawberry or grape. Both work great for me. I can't pick which one's better. It's funny though, one will work and one won't. The night I fish, it just works out that way. Okay, incorporating the 28 ounce. 28 ounce is my high limit. I've used as low as 22 ounces. I've seen some recipes where a guy used 20 ounces of soda. Oh, that would work. It works, but what works best for me is 24 to 28. Probably the simplest to remember, I'm using 28 ounces of rice. I'll use 28 ounces of soda and go from there. If it doesn't pack great, you know, which this will, you know, you have issues, it's, you know, you got to reference, but also reference the flavor you use. It's just not cut and dry, because you're throwing in a flavor that, you know, you want to work with it sometimes to figure out what exactly the right mix is. And 28 to 28 ounces of rice, 28 ounces of soda is where I start. And usually you can't go wrong. It's going to work. You know, you might perfect on it. But if it works good and you catch fish, you say, hey, it was a little dry or a little wet. I'm going to add some. I'm gonna not throw as much. You know, I was killing them one season on strawberry, and I had it down. It was 24 ounces with the flavor I was using. And once I honed in on the exact how many capfuls to how much soda I put in it, it was foolproof. You know, got cocky. I was like, hey. So the next week I made some other flavors, and I think 2 out of 3 buckets were crap. It happens. You figure it out. It's carp fishing. You know. I've seen some people just pour what they think is enough to cover the rice in the bottle, and it works for them. Wouldn't work for me. I gotta know, so I can make a note and make it better next time, or make it exactly the same next time. I don't like to guess. I like to measure. It's pretty easy. Got plenty of measuring cups. Measure. Don't, you know. I don't know if they're doing it for the internet or that's the way they always do it. If it works for them, they can't complain. But I would if you're new to carp fishing, or you just need a good rice recipe, carp flavor recipe, this forever rice. Measure it out. That way you get a baseline of what's working well. I'm mixing the heck out of this. I'll tell you my way of doing this, and some people may disagree. I don't see anybody else doing it on the internet, but I throw the lid on this, and what works great for me is I flip the bucket 1 to 2 hours in. I usually make rice in the morning when I'm working. I work at a desk at home. So about an hour in or 2 hours in, I'll just grab the bucket and flip it over. I'll flip it 2 hours after that sometimes, and I've done it 2 hours after that. Just keep flipping, break it up a little. Don't have to break it off much, just flip it. And if you flip it a couple of times, at least after the hour or 2 hours, because, I'll show you it's kind of soupy, it's going to soak into the rice. An hour from now, you won't see liquid, you'll just see fat rice, and but it'll be unpackable. If you flip it, any fluid that's left over, any liquid, it's going to soak through it again, and that's a good thing. Get it all soaked in. I've thrown it. I've popped the lid off the last couple hours and thrown it as fast as 6 hours. I prefer 2 days, but this will be ready. It's Friday afternoon. This will be ready for Saturday night if I need it. If I fish Sunday, it'll be perfect. And it'll last forever. It's called forever rice. When I say forever, a couple months. A good night of fishing. This is just the right amount of bait. On a really good night, you'll use more than this. So that's why I like to have 2 buckets. You'll end up throwing maybe 2 balls if you're using double hooks, or a large ball if you're having a good night and it starts working. Last time I was at Creekside, I think I was throwing out balls the size of golf balls, real small, because I was running out. And I was like, but they were on rice, and this flavor was working better than the rest, the flavor I was using. Again, I'm using Purple Rain, and I made a purple rice, grape rice. You could put some food dye in there if you want it black. Some people like their ball real black. I don't think it makes a difference, but this smells like real grape, heavy grape. So I'm satisfied. Again, if you don't use Jello, you can use sugar. I like the Jello. When I throw this ball in, if I had my tank, it'll cloud up and make a big cloud of flavoring once it hits the water. Break time, I don't know. Years ago, I packed the ball so tight that it didn't want to break, but very seldom. This will break. This breaks about a minute or less. It doesn't take long to break, which is good. And you can pack it. You can pack it like a brick. Sometimes with rice, depending on its properties, if it's a little sticky or if it's a little dry, you need to wet your hands and then pack it. But most times it's good to go as it is. Just wet your hands, keeps your hands and your rod grips cleaner, because it will stick. But that's what you get. Again, thank you. Hope this works out for you. Subscribe, like, comment, do what you got to do. I appreciate it when you do. Mark the page if you're gonna fish rice. This definitely works for me. I'll make about the only other rice people make a lot of is, I'm not sure what all everybody's using, is they'll use ketchup. And the only thing I can say about ketchup is I used to make it that way myself, and I did not find any differences. I've thrown them side by side with the same flavors, and I've heard people say, well, the fish like that ketchup, and then half the recipes they're putting vinegar in to kill the ketchup smell. So the fish like rice, and if it packs and you can throw it, that's what you want in rice. I've seen some pond water rices, and I cringe when I see those. If you got to make rice quick, there's methods to cook the rice and then make it. You actually heat up the the water and the flavoring and the and ketchup, and you can kind of scald your rice and get rice ready in an hour or so. But people who make pond water rice, they ruin it for everybody else, because ultimately the rice isn't fully fluffed. It's hard. It hasn't puffed up, and that's what's tough on the fish. The fish will eat it, and they have trouble digesting it. I don't know the whole details, but I do know that I know 3 ponds that banned rice, and it was all based on guys making pond water rice. And there's videos, and I know there's guys saying, I know how to make it right. There's many who don't, and they ruin it for the rest of us. So I ask you, either make ketchup rice and take a couple of days to make it, cook it and make it in a couple of hours, or use this method, makes it in about 6-12 hours. You can use it forever, so just make it in advance. It doesn't go bad, so when you're done at night, you put the lid back on and fish with it next week. You'll end up midsummer, if you do this enough, you'll end up with quite a few buckets that I end up putting in a gallon bag. And then I'll take a bucket and have 4 or 5 gallons of different flavors of rice to give me variety. Do that, guys. Don't make pond water rice. It's a mistake that ruins it for the other guys that like to use rice like myself. Again, subscribe, like, even if you don't like me, give me a subscribe anyways. Appreciate it. Go fishing. I'm going.